Today I'm going to talk a little bit about what I believe to be the most underrated 90s trucks, and that's of course the 92 to 96 F-150s. It's been a little while since I've shown this truck on the channel, but for you longtime members, you know this truck has the green machine. It's my little 302 F-150 with long tubes, 410s in the rear, electric fans. And it's changed a little since the last time you've seen it. I've taken a little more weight off and switched the rear tires to a smaller 26.6 inch tall tire. So it's actually putting pretty much 410 to the ground. And I took off the rear bumper to make it look more like a street truck. And here, let me pop the hood real quick. These trucks are just so cool. In my opinion, they're as cool as the OBS Chevys. Pardon all the cooling over there. One reason I haven't shown this truck in a while is it's got 190,000 miles and its engine really needs to be changed. It has low oil pressure, very low oil pressure actually once it warms up, but somehow it just never misses a beat. These trucks are so much fun when done right, and I think this one is set up perfectly. Electric fans, they give you a little more room to work. These trucks are so sharp. I really like these trucks a lot. I was told by a friend that this front bumper actually isn't the factory front bumper. I think it's an early 80s bullnose front bumper. And that's why it doesn't sag as much. Because usually these trucks, they'll be sagging like that whenever they get to be this age. But right now, it's just got open headers because the exhaust was welded all the way back. And since, I was anticipating pulling the engine in the near future, I went ahead and cut those off. Then it turns out I needed to drive it for a little while, so I didn't put anything back on it. But that'll change soon. Interiors of these, this one's pretty ratty for what it is. But the interiors are pretty nice. Got my electric fans right there, tachometer on it. And for what it is, as it sits right now, this thing weighs about 3,800 pounds, but fires right up. This one, 190,000 miles, runs a little rough, but I think we ought to take this thing down the road. All right, so setting off in the 96 F-150, the speedometer is accurate, and the transmission shifts a little soft too. So, I had planned to do all that stuff when I did the swap. Doesn't do too bad for an old beat up 302 with a trash transmission. And that right there is why I need a new engine. I've now owned this truck for over 3 years, and I've done a lot to it. And honestly, the reason I was driving that way in the video is because right now it's just my toy. At times it's been my daily, at times it's been my toy that I go out and beat on so that I don't have to do that with my other dailies, because I'm a hot rodder at heart. And now that I've got the 78 Camaro and the 79 step side GMC Sierra, you know, this thing's kind of just taking a back burner, which I hate that. I love the truck, but, you know, now I always want to put money in my actual classics, you know, my old muscle car and muscle truck. Look at those fat rear tires. Honestly, these trucks are very underrated because everybody wants either a second-gen Dodge, like my daily over there, or a OBS Chevy. But honestly, these 92 to 96 Fords are very similar to the OBS Chevy, just Ford's version, of course. Goes without saying. But I think if these are done right, they look a lot better than a 88 to 98 Chevy. And I consider mine to be done right, other than it could use a little bit of lowering in the rear. But before I took off the rear bumper, you know, to make it look a little more like a street truck, it did sit a little lower in the rear. But I just love these trucks, and maybe one of these days I'll be able to, you know, complete my plans of rebuilding that transmission and putting a new engine in it. But for now, it's really just my beater truck that I go out once every couple weeks and beat on for a little bit, so I don't have to on my Dodge or anything else. But these trucks are fun. This one's 310 foot-pounds, 240 horsepower, 3,800 pounds with all this weight reduction I've done. A lot of fun, guys. Definitely get yourself one of these. Thank y'all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.